Hi, my name is Matt. I'm Alkflath on many of the forums, all the Saber forums and such, also Legions. Just want to do a video review of the competition saber that I was sent by Rogue Armoury Creations for the advertising campaign. So like, share, photo, and win one of my sabers. Basically, I just want to do a video review of that, of the actual saber. It arrived a little while ago, and I wanted to have a cooling off period before I very level-headedly did a review, because there was tension there, and I basically want to get it out in the open because it has been one-sided with the very public post by Anthony that he decided to put up quite preemptively after the finalization of our conversations. And also the plethora of private messages I received saying you shouldn't be looking a gift horse in the mouth. So firstly, I just want to go through, and so the competition was run. As most of you have seen a lot of those lightsabers, they are very, very nicely put together lightsabers. They look beautiful, all the photos are great and everything. And then the competition came up. Like, share, post, and win a saber. Sounds great. Like, it really sounds great. It looks high quality, it looks absolutely schmick. Everything's perfect. Cool, I can win a lightsaber built up. So, like everyone else, I went in, I spammed out the invitations, and I did everything. Recommend, because I'd already dealt with Anthony before, I figured he was a pretty, decent person, and I'd sold a Sith mask to him. I was completely open with everything with it. There were a few faults, but high-res photos, everything, anything was asked, I made it quite obvious, and zero misrepresentation. So when it came to this competition, I figured, yeah, sure, it'll be exactly the same. He seems pretty straight up, good standing kind of guy. So I went and did all the things, liked, shared all the forums, recommended him to a few friends because we'd had a good business transaction and he seemed pretty good. And yep, so the time came through. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the Facebook just in front of me. And yep, so I got the message, congratulations that I'd won the giveaway. And pretty much immediately after I got a response back from the cool thanks that I'd sent off, I got a message saying that the handle is porous. I hope that doesn't ruin it for you. I didn't know exactly what he meant by that, so I queried him a couple of times, and the question was dodged a couple of times. Eventually, I got the answer back that, okay, yep, okay, so it has dimples and pores in the body because it was custom copper coated, but he'd polished it off because it didn't appeal to him. A little bit of a red flag went up there, but I went, okay, cool, and I'll claim this, gift horse. Cool, no worries, it's a lightsaber, it's a working stunt lightsaber, that's cool. And yeah, and I queried, and I figured, there might be a little bit of leeway there. Maybe, possibly I could get the LED changed out, be worth asking, just in case. Because obviously the quality isn't going to be as high standard as the other ones that are advertised. And he went, yep, well, he's not sure he could change it because he's got a lot of hills to finish. But it's got quick connects if I'd like to change it. And I'd actually said, fair enough, gift horse, mouth and all. Then I asked for just a picture of the hilt, because all I'd seen so far in all the competition posts, which I've screenshotted all of them, was a very, very grainy and blurry lightsaber hilt, which I couldn't really tell the details. And so I got one sent across. It was a picture of just his standard Revan one, had a red switch on it and a gold pommel. And he said, it looks just like this. So I'm like, cool, yep, awesome. You know, it's working. Yeah, sure, it's red, but my partner, it was for my partner. I would always, basically, next saber was always going to be for her. So, yep, so swapped shipping details. Yep, got sent off. Okay. Figured it out. It ended up rocking up a little bit earlier than what I thought. So this is where I'm just going to go into it. So it arrived in a envelope, not a box. Okay, but gift horse. Okay, I'll just hope for the best. It'll be alright. So I put this back exactly the way it was in here, just for reference. The first thing I noticed was the fact that it was just in an envelope, you know, just a standard envelope, and it already had impact tears in it. So, sorry about the glare. Okay, so it had the impact tearing in it there. This side was heavily caved in, so I was a bit worried. The second thing I noticed, and this was the one that really started to rub me up the wrong way, was, if you can see there, on the tag, there is, so it's listed as a costume prop, total value $0. Now, if it had been destroyed, there's no guarantee that I'd get another one, which is, you know, a bit sus. I understand that being a free saber, you'd not want to spend as much on it as possible, so that you know, it's got to be cost economic, obviously, because it was a competition, but the competition was for exposure. A lot of people seeing it, business would have increased, those profits itself would go back into it. So it's one of those balanced loss economic situations. So you're making money back by the saber, so it's an improved profit over time. So there's the first impression pretty much going. But gift horse, it's a working saber. Let's just make sure that it's working and it's all good. So open it up, and it's got an okay amount of bubble wrap, but I'm still concerned. So just a rolled up sheet, and then there was a taped piece in here. So if I can remove this, there we go. So peel it back, and here is the hilt. So immediately I saw exactly what he meant by porous. You can see it in the shine just on this side. It's got all the major dimpling, and there's quite a bit. And yeah, like the first real thing was I saw the dimpling, and then I noticed how extremely light it is, and you know, that was really good, and it sounds great. And I noticed there wasn't a blade retention screw, but I figured it out. It's a tension lock system, so it's got a little plastic gripped section in there. The tighter you screw the top emitter in, the tighter it goes onto the blade. It doesn't actually hold it very well, so if you're actually doing anything more than light play choreography, it will fly out. But it still looked pretty good. And then I turned it on. Yep, worked perfectly until I took my finger off. Then I realised that it was just a momentary and not a working lightsaber. Yeah. So the moment I figured that, tested it a couple of times. Yep, it's just a momentary switch on there. Maybe there's a board. Figure, you know, there might have been damage in transit. There might have been a board, and it might have, you know, had a wire come loose. I could fix that, possibly. I've just moved house. I've got no ability to do any of my shop stuff. I have built tons of lightsabers before, but I can't do anything right now because everything is basically packed up in a shed. So I open it up, unscrew the pommel, check out what's inside. Yeah. Okay, so if you've read the public apology thread, which was very preemptive and very very devious way of posting it to try make it look like I'm the bad guy straight away. Especially after the comment I'm going to share with you guys that he did right before he did that. So I opened it up, and I almost dropped the saber when I saw this, because it's disgusting. People go and think that a lot of loose wiring is disgusting, but when you got the inside that looks like that, now you should be able to see that fairly well. The entire inside is filled with crap. Now, it's not just that, you can't really see it as well. There's a huge dent just in there as well. You can just see it inside the battery pack. Now, that is filled in... that's got the, I will say, corroded copper in there as well. Now, I've tried scratching it back a bit, and it won't budge. Like, it is solidly in there. So it's either natural corrosion on the inside of a pipe. Now, I can't authenticate whether this is actually aluminium or not, whether it was polished on the inside or, whatever. But it's that gunked in that I cannot actually remove the battery pack. So it's a 4 AAA battery pack wedged in there quite tightly. It's got Velcro around the outside, but yeah, there's no way I can actually get that out. That's jammed in there pretty solid. I tried pulling it out, but the battery pack started flexing in a way that was about to break it. So I've left it. And with all of that, I contact Anthony. I figure, okay, I could overlook everything if there was a switch fix. Because, can't do anything with that. It's a stunt lightsaber that isn't a stunt lightsaber. It's a do-it-yourself fixer-upper. So, so let him know, hey, I received the hilt this afternoon in the mail, and it confused me without the blade retention screw, but yeah, I figured it out. It's also light, just like you said, but there's a little problem. If I remember, you said that it was originally meant as an installed order for somebody, so I'm guessing it originally had sound. Because it has a momentary switch instead of a latching one, it won't stay lit without the button being depressed. He replies a couple of hours later going, whoops, I thought I switched that. So I'm like, yeah, and I can't source any of the switches here, and I currently don't have the coin to do it anyway because I'm in between jobs. And the first thing that said, the first reply solution is, well, if it isn't to your liking, I suppose you could sell it. I'm sorry it was so disappointing. And played the pity card, which irked me at that. So I explained that it's not disappointing as such. I was very diplomatic at this point because I'm quite irked that, it's not anything like every other saber that's been advertised by him. So, I just go, yep, it's not that I'm, disappointed. I was, but I was being, polite about it. It's just more unusable in its current form, and I was hoping to give it to my partner for her birthday in a few weeks, which I previously mentioned as well, also on the Facebook pages, well before I'd received this also. So, without any reply, next day, I just went, so I'm guessing, so I replied with, so I'm guessing the only option presented here is to sell it. I was hoping that, maybe the common sense would prevail, and he might go, okay, cool, I'll just send another switch. No worries. See if you can fix it up. If he'd sent a switch, I possibly could have done something with it. And his reply back is basically what riled me up, which was, I guess I could send you a latching, but they're 16mm. You could get a soundboard or a capacitor or a momentary converter, and then the part that really started all the problems was, I feel kind of hassled here, to be honest, though. At this point, I'd been nothing but polite. I'd received a dud lightsaber that was filthy on the inside. I rub my finger on there and it gets covered in crap. It's disgusting. I wouldn't give it to anyone. Certainly wouldn't buy it for $300, which is the regular retail for this saber. So, anyway, I explain, well, I don't have any ability to do any modification to expand the hole where I'm living, so couldn't fit a 16mm into it. As for the other options, I'm not spare of time or finances to get it working. And then I point out, to be fair, if the tables were reversed, it would be like if the mask I sold you was listed as complete ready to wear instead of in kit form as was advertised. And I point out that I feel I've been quite diplomatic and very reserved at this point. And then he snaps and just goes, well, here's the difference. You sold me the mask, I gave the hilt for free. It's a competition as such that was entered by doing free advertising work. So it's not exactly for free. It's a competition. You put up a competition prize, but it wasn't what you advertised. So that's not for free, and it's not what you said it was. Also mentioned it was a stunt, which I've sold with no issue with momentary switches. Yeah, stunts don't work with momentary switches unless you include a board, a Pololu board, or whatever momentary latching board that you use that does the job. So if you've sold them before working like that, you're either a liar or people just aren't that smart. Now, people are smart, so... And then the last part, haven't you heard the phrase, don't look a gift horse in the teeth? At which point, I'm not going to say all of it here, but I will post up the photos of the conversation because, to be fair, I want everything to be open. I don't want there to be any misunderstanding of exactly how any of this has gone down without bias. I'm quite like that. So there's the whole thing. I basically explained through that, had it just been I should reiterate as well, in the purchase of the mask, he actually offered me a free one of these as well. And I virtually accepted. I can show all those conversations as well. But then it was never mentioned again. And I figured, okay, well, honesty and such, he'll, prompt me and see how things go. Now, who knows? The competition could have been rigged, and this was how he morally fixed it. I don't know. But I never received any lightsaber from him from the sale when he said that he'd throw in a lightsaber with the purchase price. But that's cool. So if this saber had been that, and he'd said, yeah, it needs a bit of work, then cool, that's fine. But this was the competition saber that was not what it was said it was supposed to be. So I go through that and explain that it wasn't given for free per se, but offered as a red stunt saber as a prize for a competition, specifically as a marketing campaign to boost awareness for the sales. Then I go through the rest of it. I point out by definition a stunt saber is a base level working hilt with LED but no sound, ready to go out of the box with or without batteries. That's, semantics. But it's a working saber. You press the button, it turns on. You take your finger off, it stays on unless you press it again. And then I go through the fact that after the competition was over, you mentioned that the thing is covered in cosmetic faults, and etc., etc. Then I did some research. This is before this post. I went through and did some research, and I found the saber. And it was just a saber that he'd done up that no one wanted to buy. So he stripped it back and then redid it. And that was a bit irksome, because in the photos for that saber, it was working. No one was holding the finger down on the button. So, yeah. Okay, so then I basically go through and I got I got a bit accusatory about that. Sorry, accusatory. It's very early morning here. And yeah, said that basically it'll be my last direct communication, but yeah, and my regrets in selling him the mask, because I had other people who seemed far more honest. So then he replied, okay, you're not a bad guy. I'm pretty sure I'm not a bad guy, so why are you taking it so far? I gave you a hilt. Some qualities were not to your disliking, but it's what I promised. It wasn't. I pay $80 in material and hours of labor to give this to somebody. Now, understand it isn't what you expected, but I can do nothing about that. A simple switch could have fixed this, but he evaded any responsibility whatsoever. And then a little bit after that, a few hours after that, he goes, I'll fix the hilt up. And this is why I'm doing this video, this specific reason, this last post. I'll fix the hilt up, only because I know that you aren't the asshole you're acting like right now. I saw a good guy when you sold me that helmet, but if I ever hear you imply I'm fraudulent, I will rain hell on your ass. I've got plenty of people who know that I'm better than you're letting on. I don't take well to bullies. I dealt with that when I was a kid, when I couldn't defend myself. Now I can. So, I got sent a piss-poor lightsaber that doesn't work, filled with crap, inside some bubble wrap in a paper envelope, insured for nothing. So if anything did happen to it, there's nothing that could be done about it. But even though nothing did happen to it, it had already happened, because it's filthy. It's full of crap. There's no two words about that. And the fact that it's a momentary switch on a non-latching lightsaber that just doesn't work. And he has zero remorse and zero compulsion to actually do anything about it, except for saying, well, you can sell it. I will be selling it. I'll be selling it for probably about half of its retail, because even if it didn't have the cosmetic faults, it's only worth that. I mean, I've put together over 100 TCSS lightsabers for tons of people that would cost same amount in parts, and the wiring wouldn't really cost any labor to do. I can whip that up pretty quickly, as I'm sure he can. But overall, it's not a product this is where I'm my official voice on. Rogue Armoury Creations lightsabers. I take back all recommendations that I've made. I cannot and will not endorse the product or the person because of the conduct of said person, and also the quality of the product that has been received, as well as the quality control and customer service. I put it on the level of what most complaints about Saber Forge are, except they've got a better warranty. Albeit, yes, this is a lightsaber that was in a competition, and I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth, but when you look this gift horse in the mouth, you tend to vomit a little. So, that's me. I'm expecting a lot of probably negative posts, just commenting, oh, you're an asshole, etc. I don't care. But this post is a review. If you don't like it, move along. If you do like it, then, maybe I've saved a couple of people from having the exact same situation. But I don't trust this person. And I've shown you why. I'll post all the conversation snapshots below. and you can make up your decision for yourself. I'm not pressuring anyone to do so, but that's me. Have fun.